Well, yes, yes, very nice. Now tell us the player engagement. So Stellar Blade, 3 million copies sold. Awesome. I mean, that is what companies. This is what companies do when they actually sell a lot. They'll tell you that they sold this million, this million copies. Like, oh, thanks for our first million copies sold, or 3 million. They won't come out and say, oh, thank you for 3 million players. So 3 million copies sold. Um, Stellar Blade sales outpace the hate with 3 million copies sold and a message to gaming media. Because this is just a gooner game. Because why? Because you can use, mod it and all that and change her outfit. And oh no, you might reveal her boobies a little. Oh no. Oh, you complete gooners. Little do they know there are a lot of women who play this game too. So, I mean, I guess a joke's on them. They're just mad because people are tired of ugly, manly looking women taking, the forefront in games. People don't want to play as ugly, manly women. We want to play as beautiful women. I mean, I don't know what's hard to understand about this. While the gaming industry drowns itself in vague, misleading phrases like players engaged, we're looking at you, Ubisoft. Units shipped and active users. Stellar Blade just dropped the clearest, most honest sales metric a game can offer. Over 3 million copies sold. Not shipped, not downloaded on a subscription, not clicked for 30 seconds on a cloud platform. Sold. So we've got Stellar Blade. To all players around the world who have shown love for the Stellar Blade, we extend our deepest gratitude and respect. Hashtag Stellar Blade, hashtag 3 million, hashtag 4 players, PS5 and PC. Thank you. Over 3 million copies sold. And this is what I came in. I said, yes, yes, that's very nice. Now tell us how many players have engaged with the game. That's really what matters. We have Hypnotic coming in. That's great and all, and I'm happy for you. But we really want to know how many players engaged, please. That's how we truly determine how the product is doing. Sales don't matter. Thanks. Um, Shameless meme, but whatever. Yeah, you have the liberal meltdown compilation over the picture of her. Thank you for disintegrating gaming on bunch of pervs. Thanks. Eve's design is incredible, and the game itself is one of my favorites. I mean, and people were like, "Oh my god, her body's so unrealistic." But then you look at her actor, and it's basically one for one. Her body, Eve's body shape, is the same as the woman who portrays her, which means it's not hard to translate real body to it's when women are made ugly and to look like men, that's intentional because her actress looks just like her, body shape and everything. Like, oh my god, that body shape is impossible. And then you see her actress and you're like, oh, congrats and thanks for an amazing game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They have big boobies. Can't show those. Thank you for the hard-working developers for all the game's work and effort they poured into something they believe. They deserve all the success. Oh, is that meme? Congratulations on your success, Stellar Blade. Keep making good games. You know, we can. I'm gonna go all Gus or the dude from Holes. I call him Gus because Julia Hill's the one who created him. But I could fix that. There we go. Oh no. Oh god, boobs. Boobs. We can't no. Oh god, disgusting boobs. Congrats everyone connected to the Stellar Blade, and I'm happy for you all. Stellar Blade is the best game. I played it I played in year. Best game I played in years. Cheers to all. 400 hours. Make Switch 2 port, please. Yeah, they're the same ones, the same people who make Nikke, Goddess Nikke. And also they talk about the like the women, oh my god, they're revealing and sexual. Like the dude's wife does the art. And she's gorgeous, and apparently she works for Blizzard as well. But she's gorgeous, and she's the one who does the so-called gooner art. It's just her style, that's what she likes to do. But no, we can't have a woman who likes to draw big boobs or beautiful women. No, it's always men, right? Um, Hey, Ubisoft, notice how they actually tell how many copies sold, how many copies they sold, and not just how many people played? Yeah, I know. Oh god. Oh god. Boobs. We can't see boobs here. Um, in a landscape filled with inflated PR spin, Stellar Blade's success is a reminder of something many studios and journalists seem to have forgotten. Make great games. Make games great again. Uh, Make a great game that respects its audience, and the audience will show up. Yeah. Because when you have men and women both saying that we like beautiful characters, like, hey, we see ourselves all the time. I don't want to be seeing myself portraying some fat, ugly dude in a game. I want to see myself as it doesn't matter, man or woman, as long as they're attractive. I don't care. I don't care. I just don't want to see this when I'm playing a game. And many people are like that, and many people have said that. And instead of listening, the gaming companies are just like, no, they're all just a bunch of misogynistic far right extremists. And the women are like, are we a joke to you? Yeah, you are, because they're not listening to the real women. They're listening to the fake women. You know, the men who think they're women. They rather listen. They'll respect you as long as it comes to rights, to the right to kill unborn children. Other than that, they couldn't care less about you. If you're coming out in flocks and every comment was like, I'm a female and this is what they couldn't care less. They don't care. Because real women scare them, and they much rather cater to the I think I'm a woman. Other studios play games with the numbers. Gaming fans have grown accustomed to publisher doublespeak when it comes to performance. For example, units shipped is often just retail stock, not real purchases. Engaged players might include anyone who opened a demo, streamed it once on Game Pass, or even just clicked through a menu. Concurrent players can even be bots, duplicates, or even short sessions strung together to make it look more impressive. These metrics are designed to look good to investor decks while obscuring the truth. But again, everyone says this. I've said this before. In the end, investors don't give a flying fuck about players engaged. They care about the money because they don't want to invest in something that isn't making money. Investors don't invest in player engagement. They invest in companies that make money. So I don't know why companies go out of their way to do stupid shit. Like, oh, hey guys, look at all the players engaged. Take Dragon Age: The Failguard. EA claimed it had 1.5 million engaged players, a number that seemed impressive until you realized it likely included Game Pass users, non-playing demo players, and subscribers trying it once and moving on. No hard sale numbers were given, and analysts pointed out it was well short of the publisher's internal target of 3 million. Yeah, yeah. So they can say, oh, 3 million players engaged, but then after only 2 months, they only sold like 1.5 million copies. So the numbers just aren't numbering. All right, so 3 million players engaged. So 3 million players, but it took 2 months to sell 1.5 million units. Huh. Clearly 1.5 is less than 3 million. Huh. Almost as if there's no correlation between the two. But they show it because, like, oh my god, 3 million players, that's a lot. It's not really as great as you think. It's really not. EA was also EA also quietly touted that Dragon Age: The Failguard has shipped over 1 million units within its first 3 weeks, a figure sourced from internal distribution data, not consumer sales. Yeah. Shipping units, that's like to stores and stuff. You know, that could be like, oh yeah, we shipped 1 million units across nationwide. It doesn't say sold. So the wordplay that they have and all that is that delivered metric, meaning copies sent to what I just said, sent to retailers, was bundled with EA's broader 1.5 million engagement player announcement. But shipped units sitting on store shelves aren't the same as copies bought and played by. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Resale value for the game quickly tanked. Yeah, not too long after the game basically went on sale. And I think then it joined few games in like the discount collection that was gonna happen. One of them being like the TMNT collection with a bunch of like Ninja Turtle games. By combining distribution figures with vague engagement stats, EA created the illusion of stronger performance while avoiding any disclosure on how many players actually purchased a game. Even worse was the Sweet Baby game of South of Midnight, which touted over 1 million players at launch. But that number was heavily padded by Game Pass activity. Game Pass, it's like, Netflix, any kind of streaming subscription. You pay for the service and then you can basically play anything you want. So it's not really paying for the game. You're paying for the service. So it's again, it just inflates the numbers of people who have played it, not game. Like, no one's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna purchase Game Pass just for the fucking Dragon Age: The Failguard. Actual sales, Steam charts show that game barely cracked 1,400 concurrent players. On multiple days, it struggled to break 500. Still alive, but barely breathing. Praying to a god I don't believe in. When a heart breaks, no, it don't break even. The million-player boast feels more like a marketing illusion than reality. Stellar Blade didn't hide behind metrics. It embraced the market. Yeah, that's how you know a game is successful. No fluff like there. That's not Game Pass fluff, not retailer stuffing, not fuzzy act. Yeah, they are coming out and saying thank you for this many copies sold. Not, oh, we shipped this many million units, or thank you for 2 million players. No, they're telling you thank you for these copies sold. That was money. Those are copies that you folks purchased, whether a physical or online copy. You spent your money on the game at either full price or what they have deluxe edition, or whatever the case is, the consumer purchased, not for half price, not for playing it for free through subscription service. No, they purchased the copy, whether physical or digital. But people still want to act like when companies come out and say thank you for 3 million players, like, oh my God, they must have sold so many copies. No, no, they haven't. Why do you think they're coming out and saying 3 million players? Because they didn't sell a lot of copies. uh, contrast that with Shift Up's action RPG. Stellar Blade delivered a straightforward number: 3 million copies sold to real consumers. That's not Game Pass fluff, not retailer stuffing, not fuzzy active metrics. It's old school sales success, the kind that used to matter and clearly still does. This is even more notable given that Stellar Blade launched into a hostile media environment. Attacked for daring to be attractive. The game press didn't know what to do with Stellar Blade. It was a Korean-developed game starring a confident, capable, and unapologetically feminine protagonist. She wasn't designed to appease Twitter mobs or win virtue badges. She was designed to be iconic, memorable, and yes, attractive. And when you look at her, again, her actress, same body type. Same body type. This was enough to trigger a cascade of media backlash. IGN France, of course, IG France, of course, France, ignited controversy by describing Eve as a doll sexualized by someone who's never seen a woman. Little do they know, she was most likely designed by the dude's wife. So, there's that. The blowback was so fierce, the outlet had to issue a public apology. It should also be noted that the body model for Eve is, in fact, a real woman, and she's gorgeous. Games Radar and others ran features lamenting the game's focus on aesthetics, claiming it was somehow outdated to design characters with visual appeal. Yeah, we want to play as manly women or just outright fucking men who think they're women, because that's what we want in games now. Reddit threads and YouTube channels filled with accusations of censorship, fueled by rumors Sony was pressuring Shift Up to tone down the character's design for Western release. Critics smeared the game for its fan service, as if pleasing the fans is somehow a bad thing. Yeah, while ignoring its tight combat mechanics, rich lore, and high production values. Yeah, you know, Eve being attractive is just a small portion. Is the game perfect? Of course not. You know, I saw someone say, you know, can you please add a colorblind feature? You know, have more things that have more ease of access or accessibility for players who may want to play it but can't for whatever reason. But from what I hear, those things are true. The combat is really good. The story's good. It looks really, really nice. And Eve is just a really, really good character. You know? Meanwhile, fans responded differently. They played the game, praised its polish, and supported the developers with their wallets. The game launched to solid critical reviews and fan enthusiasm, earning a low 80s Metacritic score and quickly dominating modding platforms with hundreds of thousands of downloads. If there was ever a sign of actual demand, that was it. Stellar Blade didn't just sell 3 million copies. It proved that gamers are starved for something that media keeps mocking. Games that embrace beauty, style, and fun without apology. Yeah, instead of having some kind of political message forced down your throat, the game's just fun. The game's fun, and you have a beautiful feminine woman. Again, this game was designed by someone who has a wife, a beautiful wife, who also likes to draw beautiful women, who works for Blizzard, who Like, oh my god, the person is an incel. I've never seen a woman before. And then you see the dude and his wife together, and you see how talented his wife is, and it's like, well, there goes that argument. While the press insisted the game was problematic, players voted with their credit cards. This is what happens when you treat your customers like customers, not like ideological experiments. No agenda, no forced messaging, just a game that looks good, plays great, and doesn't pretend to be something it's not. And that's all players want, a good game. And in doing so, Stellar Blade didn't just win. It embarrassed an industry that kept telling gamers they shouldn't want what they shouldn't want, instead of listening to what they actually enjoy. Yeah, you play this game and you're a gooner, you're an incel, you're this, you're that, despite, again, the fact that the game is designed by a man whose wife is probably, coming with the concepts of all these characters. Have had more than enough female players come out and say, no, we like this game. We like the way the character looks. But they get ignored. They get ignored every single fucking time. Or, when it comes to arguments, I'm not talking about them coming out to the company. No, in arguments in defense of Eve and her design and this and that, they outright say they like the design. And they like playing as beautiful characters. But the side of love and tolerance, and the side that says they care so much about women, don't want to listen to these women. Instead, it's always the evil patriarchy. It's always the evil, disgusting, far-right supremacist, gooner, incel, the same fucking goddamn thing every goddamn time. In an era where sales figures have been replaced with cloud engagement stats and media outlets push more morality over merit, Stellar Blade and its sales numbers is a reminder of how simple success can be. Make a game people want to play, and don't be afraid to look good doing it. 3 million real copies sold. No spin, no shame, no surrender. Proof that sex sells. And there's no shame in admitting it or wanting it. Bring on that ass and titty revolution. I think that's a revolution we can all stand behind. Or rather well, depending on which one you're looking for. We want an ass revolution. That's the one I can stand behind. You want that titty revolution, that's one we can stand in front of. The success is a bit of a shame since Shift Up chose Sony as a publisher and then lied to players about their game being uncensored. I personally won't touch anything they release now or in the future. I guess at least this proves that fan service is something gamers enjoy. There was a time when companies were able to take responsibility for failure, and then they tried to do better next time. Now their egos are so massive that they lie, cover up, deflect, and do anything they can to claim success. They'll never change because they refuse to realize that they need to. Oh, they know they need to. That's the thing. They know they need to. But you have so many idiots online defending them that they see no need to do it. Because as long as there's one person out there sucking their dick saying, oh, you leave big company alone, you fucking incel, the company will be like, well, we still have people defending us. We have no reason to change. Because rather than accept responsibility, they can just put that shield up and hide behind it. So, but yeah, congratulations to Shift Up and Stellar Blade for selling 3 million copies. It's a huge number, and people really like the game, whether it's because of the gameplay or the story, or just because it's nice to be able to play as a beautiful character. Like, Eva's beautiful. Oh no, she has boobies. Oh god, we gotta get those boobies out of here. Because Westerners apparently are terrified, which is why they make their women look like dudes that are flat as boards. The men always come out looking fine, but then the women come out looking like men. Even in character customizations, they very much limit certain features. The the more womanly features. Imagine that, because they don't care about women. They care more about the men pretending to be women. They care more about the women pretending to be men. If you're a woman, they only care if you say something about the right to kill babies. But Korea doesn't care about this shit. Neither does China. And they wonder why those kinds of games are dominating the game market, because they don't care about the Western problem. They don't care about being canceled. They just make a good game, a good story, good mechanics, attractive attractive characters, and people will play it. The money will print itself, and that's why you're in the business, right? To make money. I mean, I know you're it's business to make money, but I've never known people to be in a business to lose money, like all these other companies are doing. Ubisoft, BioWare, EA, they're losing money. So if that's their goal, then I guess they're succeeding. But you're in a business to not only make games, but those games are supposed to make you money. If you are actively going out and making games to where people don't like them, you're not a game maker anymore. You're not a gaming company. You're activists. So maybe focus on making good games, and you won't have to fire hundreds of people at a time or worry about going out of business and having studios all over shut down, like Ubisoft have to do. Or just stay on track with what you're doing. I'm sure it'll work out eventually. Anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.